What's up everybody, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we were supposed to be making Domino's pizza, but the shipping on my pizza stone got pushed back till next Monday. So I walked into the grocery store today, going in blind, and there I saw it on the shelf, Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies, and I said, you know what? I bet we can make those from scratch, so here we are. Now I will credit this recipe down below because this is not my recipe, but when I looked at it, I instantly knew that these were going to blow the Little Debbie version out of the park. But these do look better all around with the recipe that I found online, and we'll dive into specifics here in a moment. So without further ado, let's get started with this recipe. Alright, so for this recipe you are unfortunately going to need a stand mixer or electric mixer. So to your stand mixer, add your paddle attachment. Now add in 1 cup of softened unsalted butter, and then we are going to lower this down, lock our stand mixer, and mix it on low to begin with just to break this butter down a little bit. Raise your stand mixer, add in half a cup of granulated white sugar, as well as 3/4 of a cup of light brown sugar. Then we are going to cream this butter and sugar together on high for 3 minutes. And this is why you need a stand mixer. After that 3 minutes is up, you can go ahead and add in 2 room temperature large eggs. Follow that up with a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now just mix this on low for a few seconds to combine. Now grab a mixing bowl with 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour and add in 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Follow that up with a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. If you're using a fine salt, use a little less. And finally add in a teaspoon of ground cinnamon and optionally 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. Now using your whisk Jedi skills, go ahead and mix this together before we add it into our stand mixer. Now turn your stand mixer on low and grab yourself a spoon and just slowly add in this dry mix to your stand mixer. The reason that we're doing this is to prevent any unwanted clumps of flour, and it's really going to help mix all of these ingredients together without forming any clumps. Also remember to scrape down the sides when necessary. Now grab yourself 3 cups of quick oats and then add them into your stand mixer. You're going to do this slowly just like we did the flour, a little bit at a time. I actually prefer the quick oats here because these are actually a little bit finer than old-fashioned oats, but you can totally use old-fashioned oats if you want the oatmeal cookie portion of your oatmeal cream pie to be a little more chunky, but I prefer to keep mine kind of like the store-bought version. Now we need to line some baking sheets with parchment paper, and as you can see here, it kind of sucks if this stuff sticks up, so just set a smaller baking sheet on top to prevent that. Now in order to make these the correct size, you are going to need an ice cream scoop to form your cookies, because this will make a much larger cookie than a normal cookie scoop. And also be sure to space these out pretty evenly on your baking sheets, that way they don't stick together when they bake. Bake these on 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius for 13 to 15 minutes. Go ahead and clean out your stand mixer bowl, then add in 3/4 of a cup or 1.5 sticks of unsalted butter. I actually prefer this challenge butter here, it's good quality for a decent price. And then we're going to mix this on high for 5 minutes straight. Also be sure that this is room temperature before you add it in, but the reason that we are adding this in and whipping it for 5 minutes is to get these nice stiff peaks out of this butter, and our goal here is to essentially make a buttercream frosting. Now we are going to slowly add in 2.5 cups of powder or confectioner's sugar, and once you get to about the halfway point of your sugar mixture being gone, you can add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Go ahead and mix that in a little bit, and then we are going to add in a splash of milk. Now go ahead and add in the rest of your sugar, and then you're going to just slowly add in milk from this step until you get the right consistency. It should look something closely like this. Mine wasn't quite there, so I added in just a little bit more milk. And I kid you not, guys, this is some of the best stuff that I've ever eaten in my entire life, and Little Debbie can go ahead and take a seat on the bench. Once your cookies have completely cooled on a wire rack, you can go ahead and flip them all up on their top sides down so the bottom is facing up, and then just add as much or as little of this buttercream frosting that you want to these. And just look at this, guys. Just crown your king. This looks so much better than the stuff that you buy at the store. And I promise you guys, these blow the Little Debbie version out of the park. All around, the cookie is more spicy, it's got more cinnamon and nutmeg flavor, and then the cream in the middle is just out of this world, beyond good compared to the store-bought version. I will say that I did overcook some of these cookies, so they're a little bit crunchy on the outside, which wasn't really necessarily a bad thing, but it really didn't match up with the store-bought version, where some of these that I actually cooked on the lower time turned out better and more like an oatmeal cream pie that you would expect from the grocery store. So I hope you guys do make these, and I just recommend cooking them on a lower time and just letting the cookies set on a wire rack. Alright everybody, here we are with the oatmeal cream pie. Alright, so thoughts on this? I did overdo the cookie a little bit. Whenever I initially pulled them out, they were like a really light color and they looked a little bit kind of juicy in the middle. But with cookies, if you go ahead and take them out at like the 13-minute mark, they'll definitely set up on a cooling rack or on the tray as they cool. This is definitely more like a cookie texture. It's not crunchy, but it's definitely more of a cookie texture than kind of that real soft texture that you would expect with the Little Debbie version. So on that note, I would say try to keep the cooking time as low as you possibly can on the reference that I gave you. I probably went 15 minutes on these, but definitely stick with the 13 minutes. But beyond that, the oatmeal flavor on these knocks Little Debbie out of the park, and the cream in the middle is just on another planet in terms of flavor. Yeah, I remember like watching cooking shows when I was little and thinking like butterscream frosting sounded absolutely disgusting, but this is the first time I've ever made it and it's actually really good. I probably ate half of it while I was making these, so definitely give these a try. These are actually really good, and I'll probably make these again and try to improve on, you know, the baking time on this. So with that being said, they are very messy. I will say that more towards the middle it is definitely that traditional Little Debbie soft texture, but around the edges they did get a little bit crisp. Alright everybody, and that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like down below and definitely consider subscribing. I'm trying to grow this channel and a lot of time and effort goes into making these videos, so I do appreciate everything that you guys do. At 100 subscribers, I will be doing some sort of giveaway and a special video. So if you want to be a part of that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. And with that being said, guys, I really do appreciate you guys viewing these videos, and I will see you guys next week when we make Domino's pizza.